Imagine if every single second, more than 10,000 Coca Cola bottles are opened somewhere on Earth. That means while you watch this video, thousands of people around the world are taking a sip of the exact same drink. Same taste, same fizz, same sweetness. But here's the strange part. Those bottles could be coming from hundreds of different factories across the planet. Yet they all taste identical, no matter where you buy it. New York, Tokyo, Dubai, or Karachi. So how does one drink stay perfectly consistent everywhere on Earth? How do factories produce billions of bottles every year without ever messing up the flavor? And what really happens behind the walls of a Coca Cola factory that most people never see? Because inside these factories, giant machines move faster than the human eye can follow. Liquid flows through pipes like a high-speed river. And every bottle is filled with a formula that has remained one of the most protected secrets in the world. Today, we're going inside the factory to uncover exactly how Coca Cola is made. And by the end, you might never look at a bottle of Coke the same way again. This is Infusions and Elements, where we reveal the hidden processes behind the world's biggest factories, mass production systems, and the industrial secrets behind everyday products. The mystery behind the world's most famous drink. Coca Cola isn't just a drink. It's one of the most recognized products in human history. Every single day, over 1.9 billion servings of Coca Cola products are consumed worldwide. That's more drinks than the population of most countries. But this massive scale creates a huge problem. If one factory accidentally changes the formula, even slightly, millions of people would instantly notice. The flavor must stay exactly the same. Not similar, not close. Exactly the same. That means factories must follow an incredibly precise system where every drop, every bubble, and every ingredient is carefully controlled. And it all begins with something surprisingly simple: water. The first ingredient, purifying the water. Even though Coca Cola is famous for its secret syrup, the drink is actually about 90% water. But not just any water. Factory water goes through an intense multi-stage purification process before it ever touches the recipe. First, raw water enters the plant through massive industrial pipes. But this water could contain minerals, particles, or microscopic impurities. So the first step is filtration. Huge filtration tanks remove sand, dirt, and solid particles. Next comes activated carbon filtering. These filters act like giant chemical sponges that absorb chlorine, odors, and unwanted chemicals. Then the water passes through reverse osmosis systems, where extremely fine membranes remove even the smallest dissolved substances. At this point, the water becomes incredibly pure, ironically, too pure, because Coca Cola needs a very specific mineral balance. So factories carefully add back certain minerals to achieve the exact water profile needed for the drink. Only after passing multiple laboratory tests does the water move to the next stage. Now it's ready to meet the most mysterious ingredient in the entire process: the syrup. The secret Coca-Cola syrup. This is where things get interesting. The Coca-Cola formula is considered one of the most famous trade secrets in the world. Only a very small number of people know the complete recipe. Factories themselves don't actually create the full syrup from scratch. Instead, they receive a highly concentrated Coca-Cola syrup produced under strict security. When the syrup arrives at the factory, it's treated almost like a valuable chemical. Special sealed containers transport it directly into the mixing system. The syrup is incredibly concentrated, thick, dark, and extremely sweet. But on its own, it's not drinkable. It must be perfectly diluted with water before becoming the Coca-Cola we know. This mixing process happens inside giant stainless steel tanks that look like something from a science laboratory. Here, precision is everything, because even a tiny mistake could ruin thousands of liters of product. The perfect mixing process. Inside the blending room, giant automated systems control the entire mixing process. Computers measure the exact ratio of syrup to purified water. Massive pipes pump both ingredients into blending tanks where powerful industrial mixers spin continuously. Sensors constantly monitor the mixture. They check sweetness, acidity, density, and even color. If anything falls outside the allowed range, the system automatically stops the process. That's how strict the quality control is. But something important is still missing: the bubbles. because Coca-Cola without carbonation is just sweet syrup water. And that's where the next machine enters the story. Injecting the signature Coca-Cola fizz. Carbonation is what gives Coca-Cola its famous sharp, refreshing bite. And factories create those bubbles by injecting carbon dioxide gas directly into the liquid. But this doesn't happen randomly. Temperature plays a huge role. Before carbonation begins, the drink is cooled to near freezing. Why? Because cold liquid absorbs carbon dioxide much more easily. Then the chilled drink enters a special carbonation chamber. Inside, high-pressure carbon dioxide gas is forced into the liquid. Tiny bubbles dissolve instantly, creating the fizzy texture we recognize. This process happens incredibly fast. In just seconds, thousands of liters of drink become perfectly carbonated. But at this stage, the Coca-Cola is still inside giant tanks. It hasn't reached the bottles yet. And that's where one of the fastest factory systems in the entire plant begins. If you enjoy discovering how everyday products are made inside massive factories, consider subscribing. There are thousands of fascinating processes happening behind the scenes that most people never get to see. Now, let's continue. Because the bottling stage is where the factory truly comes alive. The high-speed bottle production line. Modern Coca-Cola factories produce bottles at a speed that feels almost impossible. Some lines fill more than 1,500 bottles every single minute. That's about 25 bottles every second. Blink once, and dozens of bottles are already finished. Many factories actually make their own plastic bottles inside the plant. The process begins with small, test tube-shaped plastic pieces called preforms. These tiny preforms don't look anything like bottles, but once heated, they transform. Each preform enters a heating tunnel that softens the plastic. Then it moves into a blow molding machine. High-pressure air suddenly expands the softened plastic inside a mold. In less than 2 seconds, a fully shaped Coca-Cola bottle appears. This machine works faster than most people can process visually. Hundreds of bottles are formed every minute, perfectly identical, and they immediately move toward the filling line. If you enjoy discovering the hidden processes behind the world's biggest factories and mass production systems, make sure you subscribe to Infusions and Elements so you don't miss the next factory secret. And before we continue, tell me in the comments, what factory process should we uncover next? Your suggestion might be the next video on this channel. The precision filling machines. Now comes one of the most satisfying parts of the entire process. Rows of empty bottles travel along conveyor belts that stretch across the factory floor. The bottles move into a giant circular filling machine. This machine rotates continuously while filling bottles at incredible speed. Each bottle is lifted into position under a filling valve. The valve opens, and perfectly carbonated Coca-Cola rushes in. The filling must be extremely precise. Too much liquid, and bottles could overflow. Too little, and customers would notice. Sensors ensure that every bottle receives the exact same amount of drink. At full speed, these machines look almost hypnotic. Hundreds of bottles spin, fill, and exit the system every few seconds. But the job isn't finished yet, because the carbonation inside the drink creates pressure, and that pressure must be sealed instantly. Sealing, labeling, and quality control. Right after filling, bottles move into the capping station. Here, high-speed machines twist caps onto bottles in milliseconds. Each cap must create a perfect airtight seal, otherwise the carbonation could escape, and the drink would go flat. Next comes labeling. Modern labeling machines wrap Coca-Cola labels around bottles with incredible precision. Some machines apply thousands of labels per minute. But the most impressive part might be the inspection stage. Every single bottle passes through automated quality control scanners. These scanners check fill level, cap position, label placement, bottle shape, and even tiny defects in the plastic. High-speed cameras capture images faster than the human eye can blink. If a bottle fails inspection, robotic arms instantly remove it from the line. Most consumers never realize this step exists. But it's one of the reasons Coca-Cola maintains such consistent quality worldwide. Now the bottles are almost ready for shipping. But first, they must be grouped and packaged. Packing and preparing for global distribution. Finished bottles travel into packaging machines where they're grouped together. Some are packed into 6-packs, others into 12-packs or large crates. Shrink wrapping machines quickly seal them together using heated plastic film. Then robotic palletizers stack the packages onto large shipping pallets. These robots move with smooth, mechanical precision. They lift hundreds of kilograms of product without slowing down. Once stacked, the pallets are wrapped tightly in plastic to prevent movement during transport. And then the final stage begins: distribution. The journey from factory to the world. From a single factory, thousands of pallets leave every day. Trucks line up outside loading docks. Each truck may carry tens of thousands of bottles. From there, Coca Cola travels to warehouses, supermarkets, restaurants, and vending machines across entire regions. Some bottles might reach stores within hours. Others may travel hundreds or even thousands of kilometers before someone finally opens them. And when that moment happens, the cap twists open, the pressure releases, and that familiar pshh sound escapes. A sound created by one of the most carefully engineered beverage processes in the world. The final sip. What looks like a simple bottle of soda is actually the result of an enormous industrial system. Purified water, secret syrup, precision mixing, high-pressure carbonation, ultra-fast bottling machines, and some of the strictest quality control standards in the beverage industry, all working together so that every single sip tastes exactly the same anywhere on Earth. Billions of bottles every year. And most people never realize the massive factory operation behind it. But now you do. So the next time you open a bottle of Coca Cola, you'll know the incredible journey it took just to reach your hand. And if you want to keep discovering the hidden factory processes behind everyday products, make sure to subscribe Infusions and Elements, because some of the world's most fascinating manufacturing secrets are still waiting to be uncovered.